You know, when we talk about protecting our most sensitive information, the ground rules are changing, and they're changing way faster than most people realize. Seriously, what worked yesterday, it's pretty much obsolete today. So let's get right into it because how we protect our data is about to get a massive overhaul.
Okay, this quote from the Tag Security Annual, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's a huge warning sign. I mean, all those digital locks we've trusted for decades, well, they're now up against threats they were never, ever built to stop. The game has totally changed, and that means our game plan has to change too.
For the longest time, we've all had this one picture in our heads for data security, right? It's like this. You have a digital treasure chest, you stuff it with all your important info, and then you slap the biggest, baddest lock you can find on it. And that lock, that's encryption. Simple. But here's the kicker. What if that whole idea is just wrong now? And this is exactly the new problem we're facing. Think about it. Hackers aren't wasting their time trying to pick the lock anymore. Oh no, they're just stealing the entire box, lock and all. And they're willing to wait because they know a master key that can open any lock is coming. So yeah, the data they're grabbing today is unreadable, but for them, that's just a temporary little problem. So let's really dig into these new rules of attack. This isn't your classic smash and grab hack anymore. We're up against attackers who are patient, really patient. They're super sophisticated, they're playing the long game, and they've got their eyes fixed on this massive tech revolution that's just around the corner.
You can really see how these threats have evolved over time. I mean, first, it was all about fighting off ransomware. Now we're dealing with this whole new strategy called Harvest Now, Decrypt Later. And the final piece of the puzzle, the thing that makes this whole strategy so incredibly dangerous, is that quantum threat.
So that's HNDL in a nutshell, and it's basically a data heist on a time delay. Attackers are literally hoarding massive amounts of our encrypted files. We're talking financial records, private health info, you name it. And they're just sitting on it, totally confident that the tech to crack it all open is on its way. And yeah, you guessed it, that future technology is quantum computing. Now the difference is kind of mind-blowing. A classic computer bit is simple, right? It's either a 0 or a 1. That's it. But a quantum qubit, well, it can be a 0 and a 1 at the exact same time. It sounds like a small change, but it creates this absolutely insane exponential jump in computing power. And look, this is not some far-off theoretical thing. There are specific quantum algorithms out there, like the famous Shor's algorithm, that are basically designed for one thing: to shatter the very math that protects our entire digital world. Because they can be in multiple states at once, they can test zillions of encryption keys at the same time, a task that would take a normal computer like billions of years. These algorithms are the master keys those hackers are waiting for. Okay, so if building a stronger lock isn't the answer anymore, then what is? We have to think about this in a totally new way. Instead of just protecting the box, what if we could make whatever's inside the box completely worthless to a thief? That's the core idea behind a whole new kind of defense for this new era. And this really shows you the difference in a nutshell. Traditional security, it's all about an arms race to build a stronger lock. But the Fraggle Storm approach is something else entirely. It basically asks, what if there's no box left to steal? Instead, it just shatters the treasure into unrecognizable dust and scatters it. Suddenly, the lock doesn't even matter anymore. The official name for this is data fragmentation. And it's a patented process that works like this. First, it encrypts a file. Then it smashes it into a bunch of random, unrecognizable pieces. And then it scatters those little pieces across a bunch of different storage locations that you get to pick. Yeah, this visual is perfect. It really gets the idea across. A hacker who breaks in doesn't find a file they can just grab. What they find is maybe one tiny, encrypted, totally meaningless piece of a puzzle. To get the whole picture, they'd have to successfully hack into multiple separate systems. Your own servers, maybe some stuff on AWS, some on Google Cloud, and then they'd still have to guess which pieces even go together. It's a nightmare for them. So let's walk through the process step by step. Step 1. Encrypt. The file gets locked down tight with super strong AES 256-bit encryption. Step 2, fragment. That already locked file gets shattered into up to 16 random pieces. And finally, step 3, distribute. Those pieces get scattered in a random order across all the storage spots you've chosen. And get this is the real wow moment, straight from Cybervore CTO. Let's say a hacker gets incredibly lucky and manages to steal all 16 fragments of one file. they would still have to figure out the right order. That's 2 to the 16th power, over 65,000 possible combinations. And even if they guessed right, they still have to crack the original encryption. The job becomes basically impossible.
All right, so how does this whole thing actually work in the real world to create this quantum-proof digital shield? Let's take a look at what it feels like for you, the user, and how it really stands up to all those threats we just talked about.
Now, this might be the most brilliant part of the whole setup. All of this super complex security, it's happening completely in the background. For you, it just looks like another drive on your PC, like your C drive. You just save your file to the Fraggle drive, and that's it. Your workflow doesn't change one bit, but behind the scenes, your data is now unbelievably secure. But wait, there's one final layer of genius here. It's called shielding bits. What this tech does is it algorithmically injects noise into the data fragments. Just think of it like someone secretly adding a few random garbage words into a sentence. Even if you put all the real words back in the right order, the sentence is still gibberish. This means, way down the line, if some super hacker with a quantum computer somehow puts the puzzle together perfectly, the decryption will still fail because of that noise. It is the ultimate checkmate. So this chart just lays it all out perfectly. You're worried about ransomware? Bam, you've got anomaly detection and time capsules. Worried about that harvest now, decrypt later data theft? That's handled by encryption plus fragmentation. And for the future quantum attacks, that's where fragmentation plus those awesome shielding bits come in. There's a specific multi-layered defense for every single threat. And for any business, the benefits here are just huge. You get total control over access with stuff you already use, like multi-factor authentication. You can easily meet tough compliance rules like GDPR because you decide where your data pieces live. It slots right into your existing systems without any headaches. And the big one, you get security that's practically impenetrable because it makes stolen data totally useless. And really, this is the key takeaway. It's a whole new way of thinking. The goal isn't just to stop data theft anymore. It's to make data theft worthless. If the bad guys manage to steal your data, but it's just a pile of useless digital garbage to them, then you've won. That's the whole game. And people are taking notice of this new approach. I mean, the security analyst over at Tag Cyber named Cybervore a 2025 Distinguished Vendor. Why? Specifically for this incredible innovation in cutting down cyber risk. They even called the platform a source of world-class risk reduction. That's a huge stamp of approval. So I'll leave you with this final thought. As we're staring down this quantum future, we all have to ask ourselves, are we just going to keep building bigger and bigger locks for our treasure chests? Or is the smartest move, the only move, to shatter the treasure itself? It really changes everything about how we need to think about keeping our data safe.